Okay, Jai Jagannath, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Krishna. We are here and we are reading the last part of the Bhagavad Gita. We are in chapter 18, verse 54, which is one of my favorite verses in Bhagavad Gita, because it removes all confusion and ignorance and prejudice and duality between the Brahman realization and the Bhagavan realization. Lots of people think that the Brahman realization is a problem because it doesn't allow one to be really dedicated to bhakti. And, they even quote, I think that was Rupa Goswami who wrote Kaivalya Narakayate. That the Kaivalya, the Brahman realization is like hell, And this is not, in fact, the correct interpretation. Kaivalya is, when Rupa Goswami was mentioning Kaivalya as a hellish condition, he was talking about the non-manifested state of the non-evolved jiva in the Brahma Jyoti. So when the jiva has not attained moksha, has not attained the evolution of consciousness to the transcendental level, it doesn't perceive its transcendental nature. So it's just like a very small baby, So because the baby cannot do anything, practically speaking, the baby just, the only thing the baby can do is sleep. Stay in the cradle and sleep and, not suffer. This is the position of the Anuatma before the manifestation in the material world and before attaining the level of moksha. And of course it's a hellish state because it's a passive state. The small baby is not having a great life. Small baby is sleeping. Someone who can only sleep, someone in a coma is not having a great life. But because in that situation the Anuatma doesn't have the body and the senses, the manifested body, manifested senses, manifested form, manifested mind, to act, to work. All the activities are suspended, and the jiva is in what we call susupti, deep sleep. There are no dreams, there are no activities. That is why this type of Kaivalya is defined as hellish by Rupa Goswami. Now, when we speak of the Brahman realization, we don't speak about the Brahma Jyoti. We are speaking about the realization of the transcendental reality, which is the level of Brahman, the consciousness of Brahman, the realization of Brahman, which in this verse is called Brahma Bhuta. the existence of Brahman. Is this clear?
Yes.
Until now. Fantastic. Thanks. I heard I heard a yes. So, this verse said that after we have attained the level, the existence of Brahman, the consciousness of Brahman, the realization of Brahman, then we can start to approach the real bhakti, real devotion. And how we can recognize if we are actually on the Brahman platform, the Brahman existence, Brahma Bhuta, because we are always satisfied in the self. We have found the happiness within. We are happiness. We are Sat Chit Ananda. We are eternal, aware, and happy. We are happiness. We are not just happy. We are happiness. So, if we have realized our true nature of Atman Brahman, the first thing you see that we are happy. You know, our happiness is not compromised, is not destroyed, doesn't depend on external objects or sources. The happiness is coming from within. Of course, you know, we we drop a stone on our foot, you know, by accident. We are not expressing all the happiness. But it's just a very temporary situation that is only affecting the body and mind. But we are always happy. Because when the pain of the body is getting less, you know, the mind is letting it go. So again, we are finding satisfaction in the self. There is a difference between happiness and joy. Joy is sukha, and is always going together with dukkha. Sukha dukkha, samakritva. When we are not disturbed by joys and sorrows, we can find real happiness within. So, prasannatma, satisfied in the self. Na sochati na kankshati, is not worried, you know, is not too much worried, you know, it's not constantly thinking about, oh, what can I, it means it doesn't fear anything. Okay, because where is the fear coming from? Dvitiya, from the concept of duality. The fear comes from the idea that we can lose something, we can we can lose ourselves, that there are enemies, there is death and life and death, you know, but that is duality. So if we overcome duality, we don't worry so much. We take everything, like Krishna has explained in previous chapters, we take everything as the prasad of God, of Krishna. So whatever Krishna is sending us, that's prasad. Okay, let's see, you know, maybe we need to put a little sugar. Maybe we need to put a little salt, but it's good stuff. You know, it's prasad. Nakankshati means does not aspire, you know, does not hanker. No. Nasachati does not lament, does not hanker. This Sochati does not lament is, we remember in the second chapter, the first verse in which Krishna started to instruct Arjuna. He said, Asocham manvasochastvam pragyavadamscha bhashase gatasun agatasun cha. So the asochan, amvasochas, You know, you're worrying, you're lamenting for things that are not worthy of lamenting. So, what is the guna that is giving the tendency to lament? You know which one?
Come again?
Which guna is pushing us to lament?
It's tamogun.
Yep, exactly. So someone who's always complaining, lamenting, bitching, whining, moaning, blaming others, and this and they're under they're on the level of sattva-guna. They're on the spiritual level. No, they're on tamas. They're in tamas. You know, in the ignorance. So na sachati, na kankshati. Kankshati means hankering, aspiring strongly. This is Rajaguna. So someone who is has attained, was established on the level of Brahman is not influenced, is not dominated by tamas or rajas. Okay. Samah sarveshu bhuteshu. So, what is the meaning samah sarveshu bhuteshu? Means that sees in equally all the beings, all the situations. All the situations because na sochati na kankshati. And all beings, all living entities, including the ghosts who are living but they don't have a living body, you know. But all the entities, all the things and the persons that have come to exist, including the animals, including the plants, you know. Someone who is on the level of Brahman realization can see the Atman everywhere. Like Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmane Gavi Hastini Suni Chaiva Swaprakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. Because they see the Atman. Someone who is liberated has realized that I am Atman, I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. You know, not just me, but you as well. Tatvam Asi. Sarvam Kalvedam Brahma. Everything is Brahman. So, how can we see ontological differences in the various living beings? So we want, if we are established on the realization and the consciousness in the existence of Brahman, we want the benefit of all beings, because all beings are part of the Supreme Being, the Absolute Being, the all-encompassing, the omnipresent being, existence. So we see all beings like brothers and sisters, like our siblings, our, same particles as we are. Of course, we are not stupid, because we can still see when someone is behaving as an enemy or as a friend. But we are not attached, because we know they're not really enemies or friends. They only think they are. So we are not getting stuck over material identifications and attachments, which is, again, the definition for moksha and the realization of Brahman. At that point, when we have realized all this and we apply this practically in our life, then we achieve the real transcendental devotion to Krishna, to God, to Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, to the all in all. Okay, is this clear until now?
Yes.
Any question?
Yeah. No.
No. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Okay, one last consideration that the material devotion also manifests before we are liberated. Because in fact, we start with the material devotion, then we go through the bhajana kriya and the anarthana vritti, and then we come to the point where we actually achieve the realization of the concept of transcendence. We understand we are transcendental and God is transcendental. But before that, devotion is also good. It is materialistic devotion. Can be devotion under sattva, which means we are worshipping the murti in the temple. We are studying the book, the shastra. We are doing service, and like that. Can be devotion in rajas, means we are praying God to get something. Arta jigyasura artarthi. This is rajas. The material devotion in sattva is the jnani, someone who knows the things and tries to make an effort to engage in devotional service. Devotion in tamas is like the popular belief that of the old lady who goes to the temple and lights a little lamp during the month of Kartika, because that's what you do. That's what everybody does. That's a tradition. She doesn't understand anything. In Vrindavan, you have lots of these old ladies, the famous widows of Vrindavan. They have no knowledge, no understanding, no realization. They go around chanting bhajans and doing kirtans and bhajans because that is their livelihood. That people, we give them a little bakshish, bhiksha, little money. That is devotion in tamas. Okay, they're staying in Vrindavan, they're chanting, Hare Krishna or whatever name of God. Generally Krishna, because Vrindavan is about Radha Krishna. So, but why they're doing it? What kind of realization do they have? Are they happy? No, they're not happy because they have no other choice. Because their families kick them out. If they don't go around and make a show of bhakti, they are not going to get any food. So this is devotion, material devotion in tamas. It's still good, still good, but in rajas it's a little better. In sattva is even better, But the jnani who is in sattva, in material sattva, can achieve the actual transcendental realization after many births. Bahunam janmanam mante jnanamam mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. This means that even the devotion in sattva guna is not transcendental devotion. It's not param. It's not param bhaktim. So it's okay, devotion in sattva, good. So, it's very good. But it's not transcendental devotion. Is this clear?
Yes.
Fantastic. Any question, any objection, any clarification?
No.
No. Excellent.
Very detailed way. I understood.
Yeah, I like that verse. It's like, wow, it explains everything. It can solve all sectarianism, all dualism, all ignorance, all, religious politics, wow, it's so great. Okay, anyway, verse 55 here. Now, this is also a very good verse. Through bhakti, one can understand me as I really am. By knowing this tattva, one finally enters in me. Okay, let's see the Sanskrit. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Yavan yasmi, yavan, wait. Yavan ya chasmi tattataha. Tato mam tattvato gyatva. Vishate tad anantaram. Okay, so if someone was thinking that only the realization of Brahman can be, the solution, this verse is clearly saying that the Brahman realization needs to take us to the real bhakti, transcendental bhakti. I remember I had a group of Italian people studying Bhagavad Gita, and the leader of that group wanted to call it Advaita, group, because he believed that the Saguna Brahman was inferior to the Nirguna Brahman. So one should, he believed that one should overcome the bhakti, become liberated from the bhakti, and elevate, rise to this nirguna, to the impersonal void. And this this tribe, this garbage is what has been circulated by the colonial Indologists, by the academic propaganda, and especially the Indonian colonial Indologists that are very famous in the West, such as Guénon, or people like that are totally, Theosophian, like the Theosophy people, Theosophical Society people, or, so many other groups, that are totally, neglecting the actual teachings of Bhagavad Gita, because they want to make Hinduism more similar to Abrahamic cultures, more acceptable to Abrahamic people, because it's much easier to convince Abrahamic people that Hinduism is impersonal. So God is, doesn't have a form. So whatever face you want to paste of God, it's okay. You can put, Jesus' face, you can put Muhammad's face here, and that's what ISKCON is doing. If you have seen, some of the pictures, they're showing like, Muhammad as a Vishnu avatar. So, this verse is clarifying that, Bhagavan is the actual tattva that, we should realize. That is superior to the non-manifested Brahman. Like Krishna already said, Brahmano hi pratishtaham. I am the foundation of the Brahman. So only through bhakti we can understand Krishna, Vishnu, God, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, as as it really is. So by knowing this tattva, one finally enters in me. So Vishate literally means entering. And this is perfectly preventing any ignorant idea that the specific form of Krishna is limited by time, space, and individuality. So Krishna is the real God and the others are not the real gods. This is still an Abrahamic concept, because they cannot understand the concept of God, because they cannot understand transcendence. So they think that, they need to find the real God. Which one is the real God? This one or that one? Which is stupid. Because God is tattva, is reality, is consciousness, is omnipresent, Satchitananda. How can you be away from reality? So why the verse is saying that one enters? It's not a physical movement. It's not a physical action. We go from this planet to Vaikuntha. No. It's a movement of the consciousness. In fact, in reality, the material world does not exist. That's why it's called Maya. The material world is also spiritual world, but we perceive it as material because of Maya, because of illusion. When the illusion dissipates, then we can see that it's all spiritual world, because God is everywhere. So God is not different from his Dham, right? When we say that God is not different, Krishna is not different from his name, form, Dham, teaching, pastimes, environment, do we really understand what we're saying or not? Because if we really understand that God is not different from his Dham, and then Krishna has shown us the Virat Rupa, so God is truly everywhere. So everywhere is God. The entire existence is God. I don't know, it's a bit difficult to understand. But, tell
No, yeah, it's like
we can
able to
follow.
understand.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, before starting the video, I was looking on Quora. There was someone giving an answer, to a philosophical, theological question on Hinduism. And he was saying that we cannot understand God. No. Our intellect cannot understand God. But our soul, our identity, we can understand God. Because we have the same nature. We are not different from God. We are the same thing. We are part of God. So if we overcome the limitations of the material intellect, we surely can understand God. That's the purpose of life. So if you say, oh, we cannot understand God, yeah, right. So what are you doing around? What's the purpose of your existence? Eating roti and makan. What is your what is the purpose of the existence of the living entity, of the Atman? The very purpose of existence of the Atman is to develop the awareness of our real nature. And when we become established, sthita prajna, in the consciousness, in the realization of our real nature, then we can easily understand God. Because we don't depend on the material intellect, material mind, material senses, and so on. Okay. Any question here?
No.
Okay. The same verse here I quoted, very similar verse in chapter 11. Bhaktya tvananyaya sakya aham evam vidhorjuna gyatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. So praveshtum is the same like vishate, entering. And also in verse 8:11, yadaksharam bedavido vadanti vishanti. So it's a kind of entering a type of consciousness. Okay. Now, 56. While still performing all the activities of his own prescribed duties, one achieves the eternal and imperishable position by my blessing and under my protection. So what is my blessing, what is my protection? It's not the blessing and protection of a limited being that has only a specific form that is within a time and space. You know, if someone is established on the Brahman, the transcendental realization, the blessings and the protection are the very existence of Brahman, the very awareness, Satchitananda. So that's the blessing and that's the protection. It's not some material favors, you know, like, getting a better job or or a better house, you know. No, blessing and protection are the Satchitananda consciousness. And in fact, verse 57 says, renouncing all activities in your consciousness, dedicate yourself fully to me, taking shelter in Buddhi Yoga, and you will permanently become my consciousness. It's all about consciousness. Let's see the Sanskrit. Chetasa sarvakarmani mai sanyasya matpara buddhi yogam upashritya machitta satatam bhava. By the awareness, renouncing all the activities to me. Renouncing doesn't mean that you don't perform the activities. The real sannyasa, Krishna has explained, is not, the real sannyasa is not one who doesn't kindle the fire, doesn't perform the Purva Mimamsa rituals, the Karma Kanda rituals. Doesn't cook, doesn't do anything because he has no professional position. The real sannyasi is someone who is performing all the dutiful activities, all the proper actions, proper work to support the family, the society, the universal community, the Viratrupa, the body of God, the supporting the devas, that is the real sannyasi. So when Krishna says Mai Sanyasya, means renouncing everything because you are doing everything for God, for a higher purpose, not for your, our selfish purpose. Is this clear? I think it should be quite clear.
Yes.
Okay. Matparaha, dedicated to me. Buddhi Yogam, thanks, because the Buddhi is very important. Buddhi is intelligence. Krishna is speaking about the Buddhi Yoga is a yoga of intelligence. Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, Yena Mamu Payanti Te. Without the intelligence, we don't go anywhere. Buddhi Yoga. Upashritya, taking shelter in Buddhi Yoga. Not taking shelter in a sampradaya or in the sangam or whatever. No, Buddhi Yoga. Machitta, in my consciousness, satatam bhava, become my consciousness. This is possible only when we have attained the level of Brahman realization. We cannot become the consciousness of Bhagavan, the Krishna consciousness. We have to become Krishna consciousness. We cannot just become Krishna conscious. We need to become Krishna consciousness. Machitta. Okay. The consciousness. Okay. Let's go on. And 58. In my consciousness, you will overcome all difficulties by my grace. However, if you choose not to listen, because of egotism, you will be lost. Exactly. Now, Machitta sarvadurgani, mat prasadat tarishyasi, atha cheti, atha chet, tvam mahankaram, nashroyasi, vinamshasi. Ahankaram means the dualistic mentality, the material identification. Aham in the sense that I am separate, I am independent, I am working for my own benefit and for my benefit of my group. But that's not what Krishna says. Krishna says if we think like that, if we don't establish ourselves and work in the transcendental consciousness, we don't listen, we don't hear. Even if it looks like we listen, we are not hearing. And then we will be lost. Of course, we will not be lost forever, because, we are Atman, we can never be lost forever. But we can be lost in confusion, in ignorance, in the lower gunas, in the wrong decisions. Is this clear, huh?
Yes.
58. Then we go 59. If because of egotism, ahankara, you think, I will not fight, nayasya, this will be a false decision, because your own nature will force you to become engaged. So if someone thinks that, they will take sannyas, so they will get a higher social position, they will get servants and money, people will give them money and good food and, first class seats on air flights and, beautiful clothes and a personal secretary who will wash their clothes and do their special cooking and, give massage and everything. This is not sannyas, okay? If we think, I will not fight, means I will not do my duty, because of egotism, because of ahankara, because we think that we are better than others, because we think that, I don't know, whatever material identification we want to give ourselves, and we don't want to work. Because here, I will not fight doesn't mean, picking up a quarrel, in a bar, in a pub. I will not fight means I will not do my duty as a kshatriya, of course. That will be a false decision. Mityaisha. Mithya esha. All this is false. It's a lie. Because we all need to do something. We all need to work. So if we are not serving the universal community, we are not serving Krishna, then we'll end up serving some human beings who have more power than we have. Or we'll serve our mind, our greed, our, thirst for power, and that's a disaster. That's a disaster. That's tamas. Tamas and rajas, not sattva. Your nature will force you to become engaged. Like Krishna said in the early chapters, nobody can abstain from work because, without working, you cannot even maintain your body. So don't think you don't have to work. We all have to work. We all have to do our duty. Of course, our duties will be different according to the particular position, time, place, and circumstance, but still we'll have to work. Sincerely and with this consciousness of working for God, for Krishna. Okay, let's go 60. O son of Kunti, you are bound by those particular activities that are created by your own nature. Even if you do not wish to perform such duty because of illusion, you will find yourself acting in that way instinctively. So, Arjuna is a good Kshatriya, so naturally he will feel like he wants to protect the Prajas. But here now, on the Kurukshetra battlefield, he has the opportunity to protect the Prajas once and for all by eliminating the bad ruler, the adharmic ruler, the bad guy, that has been creating so many problems to the kingdom and the Prajas. So, this is it. As Krishna says, this is it. This is your duty now, here and now. Your duty now. 61. O Arjuna, the Lord of all beings resides in the heart, of course, of all beings. And all beings move around each in its own high position as parts of a machinery under the power of Maya. This is also a very famous, very good verse, very special verse. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati brahmayam sarvabhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. Here, the machinery, the yantra rudhani. Maya is called the machine because Mahamaya is supplying all the material elements for the vehicle, for the machine, for the vehicle that we are driving. And this vehicle is made of our body and mind. So we all move around in these vehicles that are made of, elements created by Mahamaya, but the Ishvara, Bhagavan, is in the heart of all beings. Okay, so the activities are done by Maya, by the material elements, by the body and the mind. We are not touched by the effects, but we as Atman, we make a choice. We make the choice. The action is performed by Maya. Ahankarami mudhatma kartaham iti manyate. The Atman that is confused by the Ahankara is a little stupid. Vimuda. Things, I am doing things, but in fact, all the actions are performed by the material nature. means by the body and mind that are composed of material nature. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Stop me anytime, huh?
Sure.
Okay. And 62. Then we have 10 more verses after this. O descendant of Bharata, you should approach and take shelter of him in all circumstances. By his grace, you will attain the imperishable position of supreme peace. Tam eva sharanam gaccha. Oh, now Krishna is going from me to him, which is non-different. Me and him, Krishna is saying, me as Krishna, him as Ishvara. He was just mentioning Ishvara here before. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshe. And also Krishna has said, I am in the hearts of all beings. So that's the same person. That's the same Ishvara. Krishna is also Ishvara. Okay. The imperishable position of supreme peace. Yeah, prasannatma nasochati nakakshati. Yeah. Then we have lots of other quotes, which we are not reading. And 63. In this way, I have described to you the supreme among all the great secrets. Why is the secret? Because people don't understand. Now think carefully about this, and then do as you wish. Many people don't understand. They think that the Bhagavad Gita is the commandments of Krishna. They think the Bhagavad Gita is like the Bible. The commandments. Oh, do this, do that, because I tell you to do so. No. Krishna is offering knowledge, and helping us to, think about it, and then we can make a choice. There is free will. The free will is not in the action, but it is in the choice. We decide what we want to do, and then material nature, will oblige and help us do what we want to do. It's like a very affectionate mother. The child wants to make rotis with the mud. Okay, here's the mud. Make some rotis. Okay. Then make a pizza. Okay. And 64. Again, hear from me the greatest secret of all, the supreme instruction. You're very dear to me, and this is why I am speaking for your benefit. So we have, in the next few verses, we have the summary again of the Bhagavad Gita. So you want to go into it, or we leave it for next time?
Yeah, maybe we can put it for next time,
Yeah,
because that is
we already
summary and we would need elaboration, long elaboration on that.
Okay, so until now everything is clear, huh?
Yes, yes.
No
One thing
doubts.
from this
Go ahead.
verse, when Krishna was saying that you would be forced to engage in work, so that I also feel that, we think that after retirement I'll be doing more bhakti, but I can
Yeah.
see the situation here itself. When I'm working, when I'm doing my scheduled job, and with that I am doing whatever bhakti I can.
Oh,
In that
but
time I am
that
in
is
good
true.
consciousness.
That is true.
But when when a holiday comes, Saturday or Sunday, we think, okay, I'll do that, but no, I waste time. So I am forced to work with that. I can, with
Yeah,
karma yoga I can grow,
yeah,
but
yeah.
sitting and thinking that sannyas would be a better option, it's not in this consciousness. You have to evolve slowly and then you reach there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point of being detached from the results of the work. That is the point of giving up the ahankara. Whatever God gives you, you do. You know, they say if life gives you lemons, you know, make a lemonade, you know. So it is good that, you know, when you are older, you know, you cannot do the same work that you were doing when you were younger. So the quality, the type of work will change. You know, but still you cannot think that you're not going to do any work. Because, for example, you know, in the, you know, when we retire, we can work, we can serve the universal community by engaging in Krishna Katha, you know, by studying, by teaching even, you know, by helping other people understand, by, you know, giving a good example of dharmic behavior, you know, detachment without neglect, you know, that's also important work, you know, because we don't have to have a day job until we die, until the day we die, you know. You don't have, when your children are grown up, they can take care of themselves. You don't have to, you know, provide everything for them because they will take care of themselves. But you still have, you know, some duties. Even if you take a formal sannyas, if you become you know, a wandering sadhu, you know, itinerant sadhu going here and there without a residence, which is very difficult nowadays because if you don't have, you know, a residence, the Aadhaar card and the mobile phones, where are you going to recharge your mobile phone? Yeah. So even if you went to be a vairagi, a sannyasi, a traveling sadhu, still you have work to do. You know, you have the duty to inspire other people. You know, you have the duty to support other people. You know, to do to engage in dharmic activities so that the entire society is benefited. I don't know. Does that clarify better?
Yes, yes.
You know, it's not that you have to work in the sense, in the ordinary sense. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but still we need to put some effort in the dutiful action, and the duty depends on our, you know, desha kalapatra, in our particular circumstance, time, place, and situation, and, you know, stage in life. So yeah, you can you know stop working at the office, you know, and go to the temple, you know, spend the majority of your time in the temple or in pilgrimage places and everything, but you go there to support the society, the universal community, to do service to God. So it's a work. Okay. Okay. Looks like this. Is this what you wanted to say?
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank
You
you so
also
much.
added, like, you know, in the
Huh?
future how we have to plan. You also added to it, like, you know, in future how we have to plan, like from this work to that work according to
Oh,
this
definitely,
Kalpatra.
definitely.
We
Planning.
have to engage in activity always.
Yeah. Planning strategy is part of our work, our service. But we you know, we plan, but we need to have plan A, B, C, and then we also need to you know, drop all the plans when God is sending us a totally different situation, and, you know, all the plans we
Mhm.
made, it's like, okay, you know, we have to make new plans. That means making, you know, doing our best to perform our duties without attachment, without identification, without attachment. So it's yeah, it's all part of the game of the lila. Mm. Okay, good. Anything else?
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Okay, so enough sufficient for today. We'll meet again,
Yes.
and I think next time should be the completion of the Bhagavad Gita study for this time. Jai Jagannath. Thank you so much.